What's up, everybody? This is the Sports Nerd coming at ya live on this very beautiful Monday afternoon, wherever you are, and especially where I am right now. It is a beautiful Monday afternoon, and we got some breaking news to cover here on the Sports Nerd News Minute. It is regarding to one of the Power Five conferences that are involved in the college football season. That is, of course, talking about the Big Ten. Now, first of all, before I get into this news, please remember to hit that like button for me, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that bell to get notified of all my other videos so that you will not miss a single one that comes out in the future. But for right now, let us get started. So, as of right now, the Big Ten has unanimously voted to cancel or postpone. Cancel. Sorry, that title says postponed. I missed to put cancel there, but whatever. Cancel the college football season by a unanimous vote of 12-2. Now, with this come some very intriguing news lines, and I'll tell you what these are right now. So right now, the Big Ten has voted to not play, so by 10-1. So, what does this mean for some of the other conferences? So, first of all, the Pac-12 easily, and I mean easily, opens up on 20. Wait, what about? Oh, okay, sorry. So the Pac-12 is also going to be opening up. So, no, not the Pac-12, sorry. The Big 12, my bad. So the Big 12 is open now, going to be opening to a couple other teams in there, including Ohio State, and that's, of course, going to be Ohio State, Nebraska, I think it was, and then I think it was a couple other teams from the Big Ten that are going to join there. Now, intriguing news is because the Big 12 is going to be a very big conference this year, if they do end up playing, which I don't think they will. But if they do end up playing, though, I do not think it's going to be a very successful season, because I do think that the reason why we are in the place we are right now, especially for some reason like this, is because if you look at what has happened over the last couple of months, we have had, in the United States, COVID has gone like this, like that, over the last couple of months. Now, with that, it's going to be some consequences, and obviously one of them is the cancellation of the football season right here. But, am I surprised about this? No. I do think that the reason why this was canceled is because college football is a sport that basically relies on its students to be there. And dealing with the COVID situation now is not very surprising to me that a lot of those campuses are not going to have students this fall. But what I do think is a very intriguing part of this is that I think that the NFL is not going to just do this like the college football has done. Because the difference between college football and probably a couple other like college leagues is that, and also basically the same as the professional leagues like NBA and NHL and MLB, is that it's not a league of amateurs. It's a league of adults. So it goes by business. It also has some form of leadership, as in the poor leadership, in my opinion, of Roger Goodell. But what I do think is a very intriguing part of this is that the NFL is going to carry on for as best as it can, in my opinion. That's just inevitable to happen, and it's just going to basically 100%. What it's going to do is continue to keep going until it cannot anymore, which I believe will be until about what's it called? Yeah, be until about probably maybe 8 games into the season or so. Because let me tell you some facts about why this will not affect the season at all. Because first of all, just for you guys to know, the NFL is a business operation. Essentially, it does not rely on students or any kind of kids to be there. Because this is basically a league of professional players. So these are like all adults in like their 20s and so on and so forth. So, what this means is that this is going to basically be a league that's going to rely on basically everyone to be committed and they also have a plan in place, which is very useful. Secondly, they have some form of leadership. If you guys do not know, the NCAA does not have a really big form of leadership other than Mark Emmert, who is the president of the NCAA. While the NFL does have some form of leadership in the poor leadership of Roger Goodell, I do think that they will find a way to stick to a plan and always stay that way. But the third thing I want to say is what I want to let you guys know is that this season they are determined to play. They're determined to play it for one reason and one reason only. It is too much money to give up. So because it is too much money to give up, there's no way in my mind, unless the medical professionals or the local or federal governments, I mean not local governments, if the federal government and the medical professionals tell them that they cannot play, they're going to push forward because they know that it's too much money to give up. It is a lot of things that they have to do still, and they need to play the season because players still cannot afford to lose a season because this is some players in this league that literally cannot afford to lose a season. So if you want to basically have an entire season given away by a virus that you are determined all the time this time forward to take down and continually forcefully take your due diligence to play, then there's no doubt in my mind that you will see some kind of NFL season. It may not be a full season, but I'm telling you right now, there will definitely be some kind of season in 2020. And that's what I think is going to be that. But I want to do a really cool little kind of surprise here right now for some of you guys. I think one of these people, one person here does not 100% know what I'm about to do. But you know what? I'm going to do this because this is something I feel that he's wanted me to do this, and I want to get his thoughts on it. So let's just do it right now, very quickly. Oh, whoops. Oh, okay, good. Let's see if he's available. He may not be available. Okay, he's not available. All right. What I was trying to do is get one of these guys on the phone and then just see if he can give some of his thoughts right now. Leon Sandcastle, what's up? Have you ever seen my channel before, Leon? Or is this the first video that you've seen from me? Hold on one second. There we go, okay. So, as I was trying to say before, this is not like college football where it's run by students and that. But this is a business that has some form of leadership. As in any professional sports league, there is some form of leadership within the league itself. Like, for example, the NFL, Roger Goodell, and the Players Association. The NBA, Adam Silver. The NHL, Gary Bettman. And then, of course, in the, MLB, Bob Manfred. There's some form of leadership in there. And they always have had a plan from day one over the past few months because they have taken countless hours and they've watched other leagues. They've done everything. So you think that they're just going to give up on one thing, and that is this season because you want to basically because you think that it is not safe to play even after all this time that you have basically came up with this plan to play? It's not going to happen because these players are committed to play. They know the plan. They know what they have to do. They know the risk, and I know that they are going to have possibly some form of season. It may not be a full season, like I said, but it will be some kind of a season. And I have to just say it right there and right now, that 100% absolutely just to anything else anyone says, and that will completely what's it called? Ignite the promise and the vow that they will play a season this year, because they know they cannot afford to lose this money. These players do not have forever to play, and they still want to play. And still, I think that there is still a very legitimate chance, even for this, that they will play. So that's the news. So if you guys want to very quickly leave, make sure you guys hit that like button for me. I really greatly appreciate it. Subscribe, ring that bell to get notified of all my other videos. But just going to take a couple questions here. If you guys have any questions in the chat for me, I will 100% take them. And what I think is, again, just a quick reminder, tomorrow I will be hosting my first ever live. Tomorrow I'm going to be hosting my first ever live roundtable NFL news update trivia panel that is going to be live here, and then we'll basically we're talking about some NFL news. We're going to talk about off-season recaps, some breakout players for 2020, and then we're going to get into my first ever trivia contest of basically going to be is 12 questions of general NFL knowledge, all multiple choice, and then one personal question for me on question number 12. And last year with double points as well. So I hope you guys join me tomorrow. 5 Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, and we're going to get into that. But I see here that the guest I wanted to come on here is right here, right now, able to talk. So very quickly, I'm going to get him on here, and then I'm going to get his thoughts, and then we'll do that. So let's do that. Live Skyping in effect. Oh, there he is. Okay.
What's up?
Nick, there you go. All right. Sorry about that.
All right.
Had some technical glitches there, but I did get you on there.
Yeah.
I did get you on there.
I thought you accidentally hit the button to call me, so I'm like, oh, I won't join.
No, I tried to call you, and then my entire thing just cut off for 1 second. So
Oh yeah.
let me actually just I'm gonna do some live editing on here very, very quickly, because I absolutely did not do this beforehand. So
Yeah.
so
Stuff in.
so Nick, so this is, of course, the Big Ten is planning to, of course, I'll do, whoa. Yeah, that was, there we go, hold on 1 sec.
Hold on.
Let's get you on screen here. All right. So, as pretty much you know, the Big Ten decided to cancel the, wait, your camera's not on.
Oh.
This is great for the viewer audience. But so the Big Ten decided to cancel its season. What were your thoughts going into this when you originally saw this?
I kind of expected it, you know. College football, I don't know what to say. I just expected that they'd cancel, but the NFL would be more persistent to have a season than they would, you know.
I kept saying this though, and I think that the NFL has had a plan in place. Basically, if you look at the NCAA, their main form of leadership is Mark Emmert, who is basically the president of everything. He's not the one that makes the plan, and then he makes the all the protocols and helps make the protocols. But Roger Goodell is that person. As much as I really do not like him, I really think that he is the one that is easily going to be the one that's going to be able to will this. Because he said for a while now, and he's always said this, that they will play a season. Like, for sure. And he's trying to say that they will be playing a full season. And first of all, that's not going to happen, in my opinion. I do not see a full season at all. But here's the thing that we need to say here, very quickly, because I'm just going to get some quick thoughts here, just like a little quick thing, and then we're going to wrap this up with you, and then let you go, and then wrap the stream up. But so the NFL has had this plan that to have testing in place every day for the first 2 weeks. I think the first 2 weeks have actually just passed, actually. So that's basically that. And then for so far, there's only been like one kind of main thing that's happened. That's like not a lot of cases. They've only had, I think, 56 positive according to the MLPA in its first opening part of training camp since training camp began. So very good stats, but the thing that if you have some kind of sign for what's to come, I would say that if you have 56 players test positive on a team, that's basically an entire team kind of wiped out. So while it is okay for now, because there's only 56 players in the league, you could have potentially an entire team just get wiped out.
Yeah. Like we saw with the Marlins.
The Marlins had, if you also do not know, pretty sure all you do know, but they had 18. I think they had only 18. I'm pretty sure it may have been 20, but all I know, I think it is 18 for that. But
yeah, and that's just, I think mainly that stemmed off of being irresponsible, just not socially distanced, and
But here's the thing about the MLB. What Bob Manfred's done is that he didn't strictly lay out, because if you look at what the NBA has done, it's strict that if you miss a test, you're quarantining, those kind of protocols.
Yeah.
What the MLB has done, they've not created a bubble. They're shaking hands in the dugouts, they're high-fiving in the dugouts, and they're doing all that stuff. So if you could say that you don't expect any sort of outbreak, I don't know what you call an outbreak then. Because you're basically saying, the bottom line, from the beginning of the pandemic, two of the things that they did not tell you to do, high five and shake hands. So if you're just going to say to me that that's the reason why it's not an outbreak, that the reason why that's not why the outbreak took place, I don't know what other reason there is there. Because, yes, you're tested beforehand, but you do need to know that there is some kind of thing that when you do some of the stuff that you are told not to, it's just going to completely ruin everything. So I'm just going to take a couple last kind of thoughts for you, because I may have to wrap this up in a little bit. But any final thoughts about the season, or for the college football season, and then how it's going to affect the NFL?
Well, I don't think it'll really affect the NFL in a decision stance. I don't think the NFL, by this decision from the Big 10 or Big 12 and Pac-12, I'm getting mixed up. I don't think it'll really put pressure on the NFL to not have a season. But I do think it'll be very interesting to see how this affects guys going into the 2021 draft class. It's obviously most likely not going to affect the big guys like Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields that much. I think what it's going to affect is those third, fourth, kind of second to the end
all
of the
those
draft
later
guys.
rounds, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because and those third string receivers on the depth chart, those guys that haven't really had their shot yet.
Yeah. So I do think that the second rounders will. It will affect.
Yes.
The second rounders on. Those are gonna basically, I think, be the ones that are gonna get affected, because obviously, even if you know that Trevor Lawrence is not going to play, you're going to know he's going to be a top pick for whoever's going to be taking for him. So that's obviously not going to be the big issue here. But the big issue here is going to be what's going to be the main big drafts like this year was receivers was probably the biggest one in the class. What's the big kind of class? Because the second rounders, like they're gonna basically really I think be affected. I just think that if there's some kind of like star like runner that could have had a really very high level caliber season could easily be affected, and then from that season off will be taken basically an entire round down to where he should be taken. And then ever since that, it's going to basically affect the teams will not look at him as a very big threat when he really should be. And then that will easily just affect a lot of how teams play in future years. Because if you guys know how NFL, when you look at teams and when you draft, you always look down at the long term. You never look at the first 1, 2, or 3 years. You always got to look at where are we going to be in about 5 to 10 years from now. So, for example, if you take Nick's team right here, the Seattle Seahawks, right now, where is Russell Wilson? If Russell Wilson, which I don't know how he is still going to be playing at this level in 5 years for you guys, but what I'm just saying is, what I think is you need to think about what is going to be the long term for it. So, if you have a player that gets taken in the second round that is like probably the biggest threat at that position, it will really it'll really be, in my opinion, just a steal and also one of your sleepers. Because a second rounder is usually what you use for sleepers. But the thing is, if you have a superstar caliber player at any position, then you could easily just use them as your quote unquote sleeper, and then just use that as even one of your top fantasy picks, even one of your top those kind of things. Because, I mean, there are a lot of different things that are going to affect this way's draft. But first of all, we don't even know still how the season, if it even gets shortened, which it probably will be, how that's going to affect the draft class. Probably my guess is going to be whoever has the worst record, and then so on and so forth. But what I do think is going to be the issue here is who are going to be those early second rounders based off of those records? Because those guys, I'm just going to say, have a major, major advantage over everyone else. And then that's just going to absolutely allude to them just getting players that they really could basically have missed when they really should not have gotten them because of the way the season turned out. So
I think, can I point out one thing?
Yeah.
The one thing that I want to point out is we will not, in this 2021 draft class, there will be probably, unless they're like a super top guy already, there will probably be no juniors in the class.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, if I was a junior and my season got canceled, I wouldn't want to take my shot already. I would want to play the senior year. And also, what was I going to point out? Yeah. So, who Trey Adams is?
What player again? I didn't hear.
Trey Adams, who was in the last draft.
Oh.
He was a tackle for UW. Going into the college football season, he was poised to be a top 5 tackle in college football, in a number 3 tackle in the draft. In that season, he went from top 5 or top 5
really high, like that
tackle
high
in the draft to going undrafted. So that just shows how a season can
easily does it. Yes. And I'm still saying this, and you're probably easily going to agree with this on you. You know how I'm going to kind of use sort of like a flashback to this. This may not even be a good one, but I'm still going to use it anyway. You know how our good pal Norp feels when he's less than a month out from his prediction video, and he has to rush to get all those things done? It's sort of like when Brady wants to still go for a title, but he only has a limited time to do so. This is, if you know who he is, a 43-year-old. He is not those young guys. So, and his time is very limited. So, if he probably, and this is probably why he didn't even opt out, is because he knew that if he did not play this year, he will not be the same person next year. He could even potentially retire, and then probably even when he does even play in his future years, if he didn't even play this year, he will not be at the level he usually is. So this is the reason why a season is so impactful to a player, because it can change your entire course of your career from up here, kind of, to all the way down here. So it will basically completely dementurize your career, completely affect it, and then that will 100% lead you to probably most likely retiring early, like Mr. Cam Chancellor unfortunately did in 2017.
Yeah,
Rest in peace, man. Anyway,
I'm gonna take a really hot take. This hot take is that if the college football season entirely, like Pac-12, Big Ten, or every conference, if they all cancel and they don't play, Trevor Lawrence will not commit to the 2021 draft.
yes.
That's my hot take.
I think he's still going to commit. That's
why it makes it a hot take.
I know. I know it's a hot take. But I know what you're talking about there. But still, though, either way, I think that the reason why teams will tank is because they know that, like, for example, the Patriots could tank is because they know that Lawrence is going to be in the draft. So it'll completely, basically kill the plan of the entire year for that. But I
want to break him totally.
I want to
right now, if there isn't a season, he's probably better off with there not being a season because he's already top of the board. He's aiming second pick.
I'm saying probably number one if the Patriots
number
are
one or two.
One or two for sure.
Well, I don't know. Jags could take him.
So here's what we have.
Minshew's where it's at for the Jags.
So just to also, because you're on here, because I am about to very quickly need to wrap this up, but I am gonna just say though. So Nick is gonna be one of our guests tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, on here, and I actually really quickly want to shout for a new subscriber, Leon Sandcastle. I actually did not know. If you guys know that, whoops, I completely did. There we go. So that's the brand new subscriber, actually. So I think that brings my total up to 15 subscribers. So if you guys have not done it so already, really quickly, please hit that subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. And ring that bell.
14.
Oh, still 14? Oh, okay.
They're almost to that.
Oh, okay. So I had 14. No, I had 14 yesterday. But
Oh, I'm checking right now. Here, I'll refresh it.
No, actually, I can just refresh. I can just do it. Yeah, it's probably.
Oh no, you got 15.
Yeah, it is 15. Okay, because I saw 14 yesterday, so that's why I was still wondering. But as I was saying, so tomorrow we're gonna do. Here's the layout of the show, just for everyone to know. We're gonna open up. I'm gonna give, of course, my introduction, what they need to do, like the basics, hit the like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that jazz, and then we're gonna head into. With our other guests, with Cameron, Jose, and Rishi, are going to talk about our off-season takes for your teams, and then we're going to do one other team, I think. So I'm going to give, of course, my Chiefs interpretation of how my off-season went. Then, of course, you'll do your Hawks, and then we'll do, of course, one other team, and who succeeded or failed, up to you. Then we're going to go into who are your 4 breakout players. So you can pick 2 from your team, and then you can pick 2 other ones from the league, and then that will be just a quick little kind of thing for that. And then we're going to go into the first ever trivia contest that I created, which is all multiple choice this time. There's no true false this time. Just letting you know that right now. No smile means false this time. That's number 1. But it's going to be a general NFL knowledge. Mostly recent. It's anywhere from the Tom Brady era. So from 2000 to 2020.
That's where I'm at my best.
So that is going to be definitely a lot of fun. But, of course, do remember, though, I tried to, unfortunately, try to get Noah Bolter on here. It was not available. But because he, if you guys know, is moving into Wazoo for his first time. So he has a very busy week this week, getting all ready. So... And I do not think, sadly, Norb will not be on this show. But
Well,
I do hope to see you
on
all tomorrow,
some
though.
more brighter news, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I'm almost at my 10 subscriber milestone. 2 away.
2 away. So please subscribe to his channel, Seattle Sports Talk. It's link in the description below. And I think it's time. I think that's it, actually. So we'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern for our first ever roundtable trivia show. But until next time, have yourselves a great rest of your day. And wait, you're not gonna say it?
Oh, this is a sports nerd.
No, that's not what you have to say.
What? Oh, bye.
Go Hawks.
Oh, go Hawks. Yeah.
Go Chiefs, everybody. Really,
Go
man? Like, what is